Good morning. Last week in drawing 2 and 3, we worked with contour line drawing and practicing contour line drawing using objects. So I did not bring home one of the sketchbooks that I made for you, so I had to look. I found this sketchbook that's half empty on my studio shelf, and here's an example of a contour line drawing of one of those studio mannequins that I have here in my studio. If we think about contour line drawing, it is kind of just the basis of artwork. Here's some onions, contour line, brush pen. It's the beginning of every drawing. And so it's important for us to practice using contour line always, just because it gives us the beginning of all of our work. We are going to start adding value today. And we're going to be focusing on starting our work together using ballpoint pen. So you have a pen that I gave you in your supply kit, or if you did not go get a supply kit because you have a sketchbook at home and saw what I was giving you in the supply kit and felt comfortable that you had something at home, you just need some sort of pen, preferably black. If you want a fun challenge, if you can find one of these guys with the 4 colors, these are crazy good fun, and I'll show you those. But it definitely wanted to be just kind of a regular pen, and not. It can even be something like this that you pick up. This one's from a clinic. So it can be any of these kinds of pen, a ballpoint pen. You don't want it to be a gel pen, and you don't want it to be a felt tip sort of pen. So not a Sharpie, and not like that kind of a markery sort of pen. So this kind of pen isn't going to work as well. We want this kind of ballpoint pen. The reason for that is, and if you have more than one at home, I recommend that you try more than one, because they're kind of, they end up with their own personality, and they make a little bit different kinds of marks. The reason we're going to work with ballpoint pen is that they are crazy good fun to learn how to shade with, and they shade much like a pencil, actually. And so here is for instance, an example. I made this drawing using this pen. Ballpoint pen will shade very much so like a pencil does. And so this is going to be what we do to kind of get back in the mode of drawing and get back in the mode of adding value to our drawings, which of course is adding a 3-dimensional effect on a flat surface of paper. So what we're going to do, I am first off just going to take my ballpoint pen, and like I said, you can try multiple of them, and I'm going to have it make a mark, because ballpoint pens are funny sometimes and they don't want to draw. And then what I'm going to do is just practice. So I'm making, just to give you an idea, I'm making lines that go like this, but I'm making them very, very small and close together. Really, very much so, like really light shading with a pencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm just practicing getting this pen to kind of make value. I'm also going to practice getting this pen to go as light as I can possibly get it to go. Smoother value will come if you vary the direction of your mark making. So I just went from kind of diagonal now to straight up and down. And this, I have to tell you guys, this is 100%, it's all about practice. The more time you spend kind of playing around with the pen and working with the kind of marks that it'll make, the easier it gets. The better you'll get at making this kind of smooth value. So I want you to go ahead and practice a couple of times, just making like this a value scale. You can go ahead and make it. You'll also find a little bit of a tissue is useful because your ballpoint pen will kind of shoot boogers every once in a while. So you can see I'm going to try to make this next one a little wider. And just like working with a pencil, working with a ballpoint pen is about layers. So I'm going to start light. I'm going to gradually get darker as I move down. I'm rushing now, so my marks are a little darker or a little more visible. But I'm going to keep practicing. So I'm going to practice a couple times. I'm maybe even going to practice with a different pen. So, oh, this one's blue. Blue works too. Doesn't matter to me what color. I sent you guys home with the black one. A lot of times when I practice, I will write down which pen this is, right? So if I'm going to start practicing with this blue one, and you'll find that different pens, like I said, they have different personality. You maybe can make one pen do this better than a different pen, which is totally possible. So experiment with different pens that you have at home. And you're going to first do, like I said, do value scales with that pen. So here's an example, a finished example in my sketchbook, right? Working with practicing the value scales, you can see that I have these like boogeries. And then I'm going to have you guys practice with some basic shapes. So out here on my sketchbook, I'm going to really lightly draw in pen. So ballpoint pen is all about pressure too. So if I push hard, I get a really dark line. If I gradually push lighter and lighter, I'm going to get a line that's lighter and lighter. So it's important for you to practice that as well. I'm going to put a light source on here. And I'll post a reference photo of what these values look like in Google Classroom for you guys too, just so you can see. And then there are, and I'm going to just work on this now, building value up the same way that I was working on it over here. I want you guys to explore your pen as a shading tool today. And so, like I said, it's a lot like a pencil. It's going to take some practice. I have been practicing with ballpoint pen for a while now, just because I've been kind of intrigued by their capability as a drawing tool. You'll see that I go in multiple different directions here. And now I'm going to go up and into my sphere and start making layers. So I want you guys to do a sphere, a cone, oops, the world's most crooked cone, a cube, and I forgot the shadow, and a cylinder. So practice a couple value scales, practice these 4 shapes, and like I said, I have finished examples over here. Practicing keeping them smooth. There will also be like this sort of cross-hatching effect that happens as you turn and manipulate the paper to make smooth value and make layers. So have fun, experiment with a couple of different kinds of pens. And like I said, if you can find one of those multicolor clicks, these are crazy good fun. So maybe go on a house hunt and see if you can find one of these guys. This one was from my husband's office. He like brought it home from work. So have fun practicing with your pen. More to come.